Hey everyone, welcome and thank you so much for joining us for this session. My name is Rich, I'm a Global Product Lead on Monetization, and I'm joined by one of the PMs, Aneri, who's pleasure to walk us through some of the latest and greatest features. So today, we're going to run through a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to give you a quick update on Play, the platform, go deeper into some of the things that you heard about during the keynote presentation. Then we'll explore ways of increasing your basket size, increasing conversion, and retaining users for the long term. And then we'll give you a sneak peek into some of the latest features and functionality that are coming to Play that we're just starting to explore. First, we build this on a base of users, FOPs, and connecting the two. And so as you saw during the keynote, we have millions of users and devices globally for you to take advantage of. We also connect those users with the FOPs that they want to use, making sure that they have all the form of payments that they're interested in purchasing with, including local area payments, credit cards, debit cards, all sorts of different FOPs. Now, we want to make sure that users are purchase ready. So what we do is we connect those two through a bunch of different methods. Those efforts have resulted in hundreds of millions of purchase-ready users, meaning they are ready, primed, and looking for opportunities to purchase on the Play platform. Now, how did we do this? Well, we partnered with developers like you and some big players in the market like TikTok. And we went deep into our buy flows to ensure that we removed all the friction points we possibly could and took advantage of different opportunities to get users connected with those forms of payment. One example is our intelligent guidance. We used our ML models to decide which kind of forms of payment would be most relevant to which users, moving those FOPs up into the buy flow so that they were easily discovered and new FOPs could be added simply. We also thought about building out smarter flows. Maybe a user already has something on file, but there might be a better opportunity for them, an offer, a discount associated with a different form of payment, or perhaps a brand new FOP that came to market that they might have been waiting for. This all pops up directly into the buy flow, reducing friction and encouraging purchases. Finally, we wanted to make sure that everything we do is built on a foundation of trust. We heard a lot of feedback from you and from users saying that there was confusing or unclear errors popping up and what to do about it. So directly in the buy flow, we went ahead and added some intelligent guidance. No more vague errors, no more unknown steps to take. In this example, imagine a user is using cash, and they already have an outstanding purchase that needs to be completed at a point of sale. We let them know that that's available, and if they really want that purchase right now, they can go ahead and change their FOP and get it immediately. All of this put together generally changes the entire buy flow to be more efficient, user-friendly, and seamless, both before you click buy, during that active purchase, and after, in the unfortunate event that there might be a failure. The results were brought up during the keynote. They've been great. 7% lift in new paying users, an increase of 3% on conversion rates, and hundreds of millions of dollars in incremental spend directly for our developer community. These lessons that we learned with major developers and other partners have been scaled across the entire platform for all of you to take advantage of. No work from your side. Now, buy flows, we know, are not just within our own control. It's a shared responsibility between us and you as the developer. Can I see a quick show of hands in the audience? How many people are currently using or aware of Play Billing Lab? Two kind of hands. Really important you go and check this out. Based on your feedback from developers just like you, we built Play Billing Labs. This allows you to set up experiments and see exactly what your user experience looks like anywhere in the world. Now, probably right now you have a QA team out there who's producing 1 million different Gmail accounts to see what a net new buyer looks like, or VPNing in to see what that user experience and flow could be. We know there's anomalous behavior that occurs when you start doing things like this. Maybe you don't have pause enabled and you're seeing it within the flow. Play Billing Lab eliminates all of those issues. No need to scale FOPs around the world and ask a friend to log in to see if your buy flow has been effectively updated. Take advantage of this now. It's currently in GA, and it's available in the Play Store for you to download as a companion app. The process is simple. Log in with any kind of licensed tester account, and then you can go ahead and set up what kind of experiment you want to run, where the user is supposed to be located, what their current buyer status is, even test out price changes. See what kind of notifications come up in the buy flow. Maybe you're doing a price increase to your subscription. Before you launch it, test out in Play Billing Lab and see what those notifications look like, ensuring that you're communicating clearly with your user. Moreover, you can even take this and look beyond that user experience and be able to test your backend. So we'll send you the real-time developer notifications as well as any emails that we might send to the user, all by utilizing Play Billing Lab. So check your front end and your back end. And if you're not already using it, please download it in the Play Store. Also provide us feedback. We're continuing to innovate on this. And so in the near future, you'll be seeing things like edge cases and errors that you might not otherwise be able to test. And we'll be able to give you the manual control to turn those on directly in your tests.
All right. Rich touched upon the start of the user journey, which is getting a user ready and primed to make a purchase on Play. And he touched upon some aspects about the buy flow as to how we get the user effectively through the journey to actually hit buy and complete their purchase. However, no matter how hard we try, there are always going to be some users that are hesitant to take the final plunge. They may see value in what you're offering, but they may have the upfront commitment issues, or they may have some issues with the pricing, and they may be hesitant to make that purchase. So to solve that problem, we have launched purchase recommendations for one-time products last year. With this, when a user abandons the cart with a product, we recommend a lower-priced, cheaper option to this user. If the user converts with that product, we go ahead and further recommend another offer to this user to try to capitalize on the user spend. Think about moving from like a very premium offering that the user abandoned and splitting that into multiple smaller offerings. This way, it still creates a good user experience for your end user. And it gives you the opportunity to capitalize and increase the spend for this user. So far, with this feature alone, we have seen an uplift of 3% in user spend. Not only for one-time products, this year, we bring you purchase recommendations for subscriptions as well. Let's take an example. You have an annual SKU of $100 that you're selling, and you have a couple monthly options that you're selling, as well as a prepaid option. A user abandons the cart with your annual SKU. And in the current scenario, you would just end up losing this very primed user, and you would have to go through the funnel to get them to get to the purchase point again. With this feature, you don't have to do that. You're capitalizing this user that is already at the buying point and showing them a different option, which is potentially a lower commitment option or a lower pricing option, and trying to get them to complete the purchase. You can always nudge them with an upgrade later, as long as you're able to monetize them today. This improves the user experience for your end users and allows them to access more premium features within your app, as well as it improves spend for you and allows you to capitalize on users that may have otherwise been lost. All right. Not only that, when we are showing users the alternate recommendations, we're also reminding them of the different benefits that you're offering with your subscriptions. This reminds the user of why they started the purchase in the first place. Showing them the right benefit contextually has shown to drastically improve the user experience and also help benefits with conversion. While we're on the topic of subscription benefits, I will use this time to remind you to please set up your subscription benefits on the Google Play console. It's really easy. You can do that in your subscription setup within the console. It takes 2 minutes. I nudge you to do that because now they appear in more places than before. In the past, we only showed them when a user was looking to cancel their subscription. Now, we show them at cart abandonment, as I just discussed. We also show them when we're sending them renewal reminder emails. And we also show them across multiple surfaces on the Play Store. This helps amplify your subscription's value to your users at the points in the journey where it matters the most. This will help you convert those users or retain the users as well. All right, now that we've talked about getting the user in the buy flow and getting them to make the purchase, let's talk about helping increase the basket value of what this user is purchasing on Play today. Maybe, and this was something that was touched upon at the keynote as well. But let's talk about why we built this feature. Maybe you are a developer that has multiple entitlements within your app. Or maybe you're a developer that offers different types of tiers. You're an EMEA developer and you have different channels on your app. Or you're a developer that offers different customizations with different entitlements. For a user to actually understand the different entitlements and try to make separate purchases and manage those different subscription purchases in different buy flows and in different subscription management experiences can become very tricky. And for you, you're not able to maximize the revenue that you're going to get from this user if you have fragmented experiences instead of one bundled offering. That's why we created subscriptions with add-ons. What you can do with subscriptions with add-ons is you can bundle all these different entitlements that you have within your app and create one larger high-value subscription. From a user perspective, it's very seamless. All they have to do is select what they want to add to the bundle, and all of the payment schedules, including offers and everything, is aligned, and they will be charged on one single billing date. So they don't have to manage all of the different subscriptions separately. For the developer, it is also easy. All you have to do is set up these subscriptions within your Google Play console, and a user can access them in the bundle context. Subscriptions with add-ons is now available. So please take a look at your apps and see if this is something that would be a good fit for you. Our partners at Spotify, as mentioned in the keynote as well, have already seen really great user benefits, especially for their premium subscribers with this feature. I'll now pass it over to Rich to talk about one-time products and what's new with them.
Thanks, Aneri. So we see that developers who offer both subscriptions and one-time purchases are very successful on Play. We think that's because they're meeting the user where the user wants to be and offering what the user is looking for. If you don't already have both in your system, consider different options, look at your offerings, and see where they might best be applied. We're making some really big changes to the way that we offer and manage and control one-time purchases and one-time products on Play. So I'd like to take a little bit of time and dive deep into that, even if most people in the room are offering subscriptions. This might look familiar to you from years past. We've done similar things to the subscription infrastructure, where we're separating the what from the how. Now, this will increase the flexibility of the platform, giving you far more capability for one-time purchases, and not requiring you to duplicate SKUs every time you want to run, for example, a weekend plan. However, these advancements also come with some changes to the platform. So for those of you who are currently using pricing templates, know that those are going to be deprecated soon, and that you'll be relying on either the API or the console to make changes to your existing catalog. Moving forward, we'll be launching a new monetization API that will allow you to manage all of the SKU publishing as well as modifications across this new schema. As I mentioned, this brings us into alignment with the subscriptions architecture that we launched a couple of years ago. And so for those of you not familiar, subscriptions now has this notion of a SKU where the entitlement sits. And then beneath that, we place the base plans, which is either recurring or non-recurring, and where you can set up your pricing as well as country-level targeting. And then underneath that, we place the offer. Similar for one-time purchases, now you're going to have a purchase option as well as an offer nested underneath that one entitlement piece. So as I mentioned, you can change the way that the user is purchasing one-time purchases now, and we'll go into a little bit of this new functionality here in a moment. And you can nest offers and then target those to the right users rather than replicating SKUs. So What does this mean overall? Well, purchase methods are going to change. So not only could you sell a consumable or a non-consumable, now you can do things like time gating an offer, and so I'll go into rentals in a second. And the offers that you place underneath your one-time purchase can be different. So you can do a dollar discount or a percentage discount, but it gives you far more flexibility in the way that you can offer and manage these one-time purchases. Pre-orders will also be coming as a base item for one-time purchases. So create a new SKU before the item is available and set the price. Perhaps you want to do it at a discount. This gives you a chance to engage with your users, measure overall excitement, sell that at a discount, rewarding your users for early engagement. And then Google will automatically raise the price back up to full price when the unit becomes available. Rentals will be coming. With rentals, you can do time-gated offers. Now, this is familiar to everyone in the context of maybe books or movies or TV. However, we encourage you to think about different ways to apply this technology. Think about anything that should be maybe a time gate on premium content, an item within your app, some sort of other experience or boost. Anything that can be time-gated, rentals might be a really good use case. So explore this, ask us questions afterwards, or find us, contact your Google representative if you have any questions, and we can love to brainstorm how this technology could be applied in interesting ways. And finally, auto top-ups. So you may have seen us talk about this in the past as a new and upcoming exploration. Now it's officially in early access, and we're looking forward to launching it soon. Auto top-ups brings us into this interesting space where you can effectively subscribe to a one-time purchase. User can specify the total amount that they would like to have in their wallet. In this example, maybe they choose 5,000 coins. And then they choose the amount at which they would like to see that top-up occur. The user basically tells you, I would like to have this many coins, and at this moment, I would like to get a refresh. You can call our API, and the order will be handled out of session, meaning that they'll be automatically topped up. The user doesn't have to leave the overall experience. So imagine someone who is 2 coins short of building a castle, or a couple boosts short of uncovering a like. These are the kind of user experiences that we don't want to interrupt. And so if users come into auto top-ups, they'll always have enough currency, boosts, or coins to complete whatever thing they want to do in that moment, and they won't have to get pushed back through the buy flow before they can engage with your user content. Now, hard break. Thank you for taking that journey down one-time purchases. Let's go back to subscriptions. This has been a feature that we've been working on for some time, and based on a tremendous amount of developer feedback, we're extremely excited to announce that we're going to be launching into EAP win-back offers in the cancellation flow. So these subscription retention offers will appear in the Google-owned cancellation flow, and it will be the final step in you being able to retain users who might have otherwise canceled. In the past, a user would have been deep linked or would eventually navigate into the sub-center where they might choose to cancel their subscription with you. Now, you'll be able to identify these retention offers, and we'll be able to present those directly to the user in the cancellation flow, recovering what would otherwise be a lost, highly engaged user. But that's not the only place where we're thinking about putting offers and alternatives. A new EAP that's out now is allowing you to put offers, discounts, and alternate plans directly into the sub-center. Imagine you're a user who's modifying some other subscription or is contemplating what to do with some existing subscriptions. Now, if they enter into your page, you could present them with either an upsell opportunity, maybe it's a discount to move into a premium status, or maybe it's a cross-grade or a downgrade in order to retain a user who might be hesitant. And then you could provide offers on top of that. These will soon be available, but right now are currently in EAP. Now that we've covered a little bit of the work that we're working on around voluntary churn, I'm going to hand it over to Aneri to talk a little bit about involuntary churn.
Thanks, Rich. All right. Let's talk about involuntary churn. Despite all of our efforts in acquiring this user and getting this user to be a paid user and having this user renew year over year or month over month, there are still things that can happen. Sometimes things go wrong. Maybe this user forgot to update the expiration date on his credit card. Or maybe they forgot to top up the wallet that they were using to pay this subscription with. Either way, sometimes payment methods fail. And when they fail, we are unable to renew the subscription, causing this user to involuntarily churn out of a paid subscription. In order to address this problem, we introduced flexible grace periods and account holds. For those that are new to subscriptions, I'll just take a minute to refresh on grace period and account hold. A grace period is something where we give the user a fixed amount of time to recover their form of payment while they still have access to your subscription and the entitlement. After the grace period, the user typically moves into account hold. Account hold is where the user does not have access to the subscription, but Play will still try to recover this form of payment for this user. If we extend these for the user to the maximum amount, which is 30 days for grace periods and up to 60 days of combined recovery for both grace period and account hold, it can improve recovery by 15%. We highly recommend you to maximize your recovery windows in order to get the most out of your subscribers and in order to create and continue to maintain a seamless experience for your most premium users. All right, now, this is the part that I'm most excited about. So far, we've talked about a blanket grace period and a blanket recovery time for a user. But that may not be true for all users. I may not want to give a 30-day grace period for all users because it's expensive for me to give the 30-day grace period. I have costs associated with that. If a user has signed up through a free trial offer and has had only one renewal and now they're about to churn, I may want to give them like a 3-day grace period versus a user that has been with my app for years. I may want to maximize that grace period for them up to 30 days so that they can continue to have access for this subscription. Now, with the help of dynamic optimization, we can do that. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to use the existing tools that we have and make them smarter, more tailored, and targeted to make sure that you can recover your user with the minimum cost and have the maximum recoveries. You define the business outcome that you want, and our ML models will do the heavy lifting for you to get you to that outcome. With the first pilot that we're launching is dynamic grace period. This basically will help you reduce your churn and make sure that your highest value users actually make the most out of the subscription and get the most amount of recovery window. Post-dynamic grace period, what we're also building on is dynamic offers. Imagine a world where we could figure out what you want, whether you want to prioritize conversion or retention, and we could target the right offer to the right user in the right context. No need for a vast data science team to identify the user. No need for you to actually do any heavy lifting. Just tell us what you want, and we would use our intelligence to help you get there. Both of these features are currently in progress. The dynamic grace period EAP is open now, so if you're interested, please reach out to us. We're still building through the dynamic offers piece, so we're interested to learn more from you on how you would imagine this to work. All right, so we've covered a lot of features today. We've gone through a strong foundation with Play. We've gone through a growth funnel with acquisition, retention, as well as having a large spend, high spend on Play. That can be a lot to sort through. And we know that it can be very difficult for you to prioritize the right features for you, as well as understand what impact these features can have for your particular app. So we want to help you. We want to help you understand what is right for you, and we want to have opinionated recommendations on what you should be building next. This is where the value of Play banner on monetization overview page comes into the picture. This is something that we visualize is a strategic partnership between us and you, where we are able to give you more impactful recommendations that help you achieve your goals, as well as potentially even show you how much of a boost you're going to get with each of these features. This is just the beginning. For those with high content libraries and with a large SKU catalog, we are building a flexible SKU solution. It is a dynamic way to create and manage your SKUs where you can define the SKU metadata right at the point of sale. This is a very new feature, and there's more to come on this soon. But we just wanted to show you because it's more advancements to give you more flexibility.